did just as much. I can't record though.
I have a little bit of issues on my side from watching it. Okay, so audio's working. We're live. Audio's good.
On YouTube?
Yes.
Okay, hold on one sec.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, all is good. We're good.
No. I don't know if I'll be able to get anybody to show up right now. Hold on.
So when we went live last time, was that from all of that, the people that showed up, was that from you?
Yeah, I invited a bunch of people from my Telegram group. Oh, I got one. Just to give us a little boost. They're on their way. Oh, send me. Let me get the YouTube link.
Are you not subscribed to the channel already?
Oh yeah, I am.
It should have notified you on YouTube.
Yeah, it did. But hold on. Sharing it in my groups too.
Oh, okay. Got you.
We are live. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's go ahead and get started here, shall we?
We shall.
We shall. How you doing, Cap Slade?
Doing all right. How about yourself there, Dep?
Doing well. How you doing, Jay? What's it? Just
JP.
J Pap.
J-Pat. Pat. P-A-T-T.
P-A-T-T. There we go.
Yes,
J
J-Pat. Justin
How
Patterson.
you doing, J Pat?
Yep. I'm good, man. Can't complain. Another day, another dollar.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Or a couple hundred.
Dude, so I was watching, I actually been following Live Leak on Telegram, and dude, they got some funny stuff. But they actually got some really cool stuff here too. But it shows up, this is Florida's man pulled over for speeding, and he blames Vladimir Putin. Let's take a look at this.
I just got this thing, okay, sir?
Sir, I literally saw you run the stop sign.
I'm sorry.
Make a left turn,
I'm sorry.
and then hop on the gas. I was sitting right at the
I'm so
intersection.
sorry, sir.
So your excuse.
He's very
I saw
apologetic.
a car coming, and
You
What
did.
is it
Yes.
when you get pulled over?
I saw
All right.
a car coming, and I wanted to get out before them.
And then you dropped on the gas
No,
and took off.
I'm so sorry, sir.
I need to see your insurance card, please.
Oh. You got the registration?
Yeah, there was no reason for that at all.
I
I would
know.
put lives into safety.
I just found out, I'm trying to tell you the truth, and I just found out that Putin is just said he's going to launch nuclear thermal war. I'm trying to get back to my house.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't blame him though. I'm just trying to get back to my house to figure this shit out. Oh shoot, that is hilarious.
Way to talk out of your ass, dude.
Right. Yeah, I don't think he's probably still got a ticket, but yeah, it was pretty.
Oh, I'm sure. There's no way they let him go.
Oh yeah. No, it's something else. This is another thing that's actually kind of really concerning me, especially coming from the West. This is in China. This is showing Chinese authorities have blocked several districts of the Shenzhen after discovery of new cases of COVID. Every day, the number of people in the household in checks from door to door up to search under the beds and in the closets. So this is here in China. And I don't know, like, I guess all these dudes are marching, are checking, doing house inspections on people's and properties. I don't know.
That's wild.
Well, I don't live in China.
Yeah. So I saw that, and that's just because of a few cases of COVID. So they take COVID pretty freaking seriously. Here is actually another video to elaborate more on that I find just rather kind of interesting. So it says here, there's huge queues informing in Shenzhen in China, where a test of the less than 48 hours is mandatory to keep your QR code green to be able to move around and go to work. So if your QR code gets turned off, you can't function in society, basically. The CCP's zero COVID policy is being undermined with more than 500 cases of COVID-19 officially detected on Monday. So this is the crowd of all the people waiting to get tested.
Holy shit.
Mandatory testing. Yeah. They don't make it in time. They don't get their tests back. They don't get their results back. Their QR code, I guess, can turn red or turn off, and they can't go to work.
Oh, thank God that's not us.
So
yeah.
It should be.
Yeah, I
if
know.
you were talking about like something like Mark of the Beast, if we were going like if we're talking about like in the Bible, couldn't QR codes be kind of considered like Mark of the Beast? And especially in like China, and for instance, they actually have it where like everything's digital now, and every function that they do like in society, they have like a credit system, like a score, like a social score. So if they have a low score, they actually have less like function. They could do less things in society. Like they'll have less accessibility to things.
How do you build your score up?
By doing good deeds, by being a good person. So like if you're caught like littering, you could lose points. Like you.
I mean, that's
like,
an interesting concept.
I mean, it's
Little one. Made it in. Here we go.
driving me nuts. I mean, if you look back in many old cultures and old societies, like feudal Japan, possibly, that they lived on that kind of system, and it even trickled into the afterlife and your reincarnation. If you look back on those different ideologies and beliefs, it's not a nuanced thing to think of, but it is in our society because we've kind of grown up from the fact that was needed. But I guess it isn't kind of needed in this day and age with people being rude and whatnot. I mean, I'm a firm believer in karma, so I hold the door open for people. If somebody is flat tired on the road and I'm not, I'm not busy, I will stop and help them or see that they need help or, something like that. Because I feel as if, something like happened to me, I would want somebody to stop.
Yeah, it's all based on where you live, though. I mean, in some areas, like for instance, for me, like I don't feel comfortable pulling over because I don't know what people's intentions are.
No, that's fair.
So
that's what I'm saying. And back in the day, you didn't have to worry about that kind of thing. That's what I'm saying. In this day and age, it's almost necessary.
Yeah.
So then you gotta have like body cams on everybody or something like that to register everything you do. I don't know. It's an odd concept, but it's not completely.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's odd. I said it's interesting. You know, I mean, I get the concept, but I also get how it could be abused.
That's what I'm saying. It's an odd concept.
Because then
Yes.
then there's that. Okay, so then what do you consider being good and bad? So that's like, there would be some gray areas.
Has the power is the better question.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, isn't that something we were kind of wanting to talk about? You know, good and bad. You know, wanted to elaborate. You know, who is the good or the bad for the Russian-Ukraine situation? I know that was something like Capsulade mentioned.
Oh yeah.
What if
the other day? Yeah, me and Dap were talking, and I was, just one of those things where you're just kind of sitting, watching videos, and you kind of get lost in your head. And I was just thinking, what if we're not looking at, or what if we don't know everything? Like, what if
we clearly don't? I mean, there's clearly stuff that's being hidden.
Well, yeah, no, I know that. I'm just saying, what if we're not looking at the bigger picture here?
What's the bigger picture?
That's what I'm saying. That's gonna lead into my next point. But getting back to what I was saying with talking with Dap is, what if we sit back for a second and we take all the things we know and we're like, okay, Ukraine. Yes, Ukraine. We want Ukraine to have its independence. Russia's the big bad guy. Da 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 da. No, I'm not saying anything against it. But what if we just step back for 2 seconds and just think, what if Putin knows something we don't? He obviously has ties with some very important people, knows some people, da-da-da-da. What if there's just something we don't know that is crucial, or something that's vitally important, or that could change our opinion on the drop of a dime? You know what I mean?
But until that comes, I mean, what could that be? If we don't know what that could be, then that's just kind of something that's up in the air. Like, we don't even know if it's even there.
I understand that, but at the same time, you have, because you don't know that it isn't there, and you don't know, because everything that's coming out of Ukraine isn't true.
Right.
Like 70% of it, maybe-ish, but 30% of it's 100% false. 100%.
Ukraine is like one of the most like corrupt governments in like all of Europe. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there was, something that we didn't know, but it's hard to
necessarily saying that there's something going on in just the Ukraine, because that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't know everything, but we do know that Biden has ties, not Biden, but his son has ties with the Ukrainians in oil, or not oil, energy. Okay. And we talked about last week how they had the 2 oil fields, one closest to the Russians and one closest to the NATO side. And then they have all their off-sea, which the Russians seized about 8% of it, causing them to not be able to out-produce Russia or out-compete Russia and their oil conglomerate, or whatever the heck you want to call it, in feeding NATO oil. Because that's the hold that Russia has on NATO, is they're feeding us most of their oil. And I think that's mainly it's not the main thing, but that's one of the ish points about it, is because if you destroy Russia's ability to be the top dog and make a lot of money there, that destroys all their money and causes a lot of problems, whatever. But we also know, or we don't know, but we have suspicions that China and Biden may be friendly, because just the way he acts towards them. Yes.
So here's a video, kind of seeing where Putin's point of view is on the war and why he's doing what he's doing. This is from Russian Insight. So this is actually YouTube actually is what would you say? Credit this as being funded and part of the Russian government. Like, that's
this
what
came
it's
out of
credit.
there from them.
Yep.
Right.
So here we go. Let's take a look at this.
Это же Соединенные Штаты своими ракетами пришли к
Actually, we're gonna
нашему
need subtitles.
на пороге нашего дома находятся.
Okay.
Ну разве это какая-то какое-то избыточное требование не ставить больше никаких ударных систем у нашего дома. Югославию бомбили. Каким предлогом?
What was the pretext of Serbia?
Где Югославия, где США.
You want me to read it out loud?
Уничтожили страну.
Yeah, at least she did.
Start it over and I'll read it out loud.
All right, that works.
Ставим ракеты.
Are we
You read
placing missiles near the border of the United States? No.
Это что,
It was the United States that came to our home with their missiles. They are already in front of our home. Is this some kind of excessive demand not to put any more offensive systems in front of our house?
У нашего дома. Югославия
What was the pretext to bomb Serbia, Yugoslavia? Was it authorized by the Security Council? Where is... Oh, that was quick.
уничтожили страну.
Whereas Serbia and the United
The
States.
country, how would the Americans react if we put our missiles on the border between Canada and the U.S.?
На границе между
Canada doesn't want your missiles, though, bro.
Yeah.
Канадой и США или на
Or put our
границе
missiles on the border of Mexico. The Mexicans don't want your missiles
United
either.
States, yeah. Did Mexico and the United States never have territorial issues? And to whom
200
California
200
belonged?
years ago,
Yeah.
we're fed up with the
Что они сейчас
manipulations,
делают,
but what they are doing now on the territory of Ukraine or trying to do on the doorstep of our home.
национальная граница.
It's
Это
not thousands of
порога нашего
kilometers from our national border.
Если ракетные комплексы
If U.S. and NATO missile systems are deployed in Ukraine, their flight time to Moscow will be only 7 to 10 minutes, or even 5 minutes for hypersonic missiles.
Что хотят,
They simply do whatever they want.
правительство России работает.
U.S. advisors worked in the Russian government, CIA officials gave their advice.
Зачем надо
What was the point of supporting separatism in the North Caucasus with the help of the even ISIS? There are no hypersonic weapons in the United States yet, but we know when they will appear, this cannot be hidden. Everything is recorded. The tests are successful or unsuccessful.
Успешно, неуспешно. Ясно.
It is clear that we will roughly understand when they will appear.
Поставят.
They will install hypersonic weapons in Ukraine and then under its cover.
А потом под его прикрытием. Где значит, что завтра будет
This does not mean that they will use them tomorrow because we already have zircon.
Значит,
It doesn't mean that they will use it tomorrow.
но под этим
But they will
прикрытием
arm and push extremists from the neighboring states into including to certain regions of the Russian.
экстремистов из соседнего государства. В том числе на отдельные регионы Российской Федерации. Скажем, на Крым.
For example, against the Crimea under favorable, as they believe, circumstances for
Они
themselves.
что думают, мы не видим
They
этой угрозы?
do think we don't see these
Они думают,
threats,
что мы
or they
безвольно
think that we will helplessly look at their threat posed to Russia.
в этом же
This is
вся
the whole
проблема.
problem. We simply have nowhere to move on. That is at the stake.
Вооруженные конфликты.
Armed conflicts, bloodshed are absolutely not our choice. We do not want such a development of events. We want to resolve issues by political and diplomatical means, but at least have clear, understandable, and clearly stated legal guarantees.
Вот в чем смысл.
This is the meaning of our proposals set out on paper and sent to Brussels and Washington,
Мы надеемся,
and we hope to receive a clear, comprehensive answer to them.
Есть некоторые сигналы,
There are some signals that partners seem to be ready to work on
что
this.
партнеры готовы вроде бы над этим работать.
We don't have to watch the whole thing, but
I
yeah,
was
that
gonna
pretty
say,
much,
He contradicted himself at least twice there.
yeah. Oh my God, it was kind of hard reading that.
He was like, there's like guarantees and it's all gonna be legal, but didn't they sign a treaty with the Ukrainians back like 8 years ago after they got Crimea and they gave up their nuclear weapons that they wouldn't invade them again?
Something like that.
That's what I thought.
Yup. What about, let's see here. Kind of just, this kind of goes on the topic that, you know, everybody's going to kind of have a bias on where they are from or where they live. So obviously more Russians are going to be, 60. They actually say 60% of Russia believes that the United States is responsible for the Ukraine situation, for the Ukraine conflict. So that's interesting. And then here's the example here. Says if World War III broke out, the British Army would only last for 8 days. And I really loved this guy's reaction because you could totally tell he's obviously from the Great Britain, and what his response is, I think is pretty funny. Let's take a look. Here we go.
British Army would only last 8 days. July 2020.
Are you fucking stupid or something? No. The British Army haven't been invaded. Like, their homeland has not been invaded in a long fucking time. Hitler, the man who single-handedly conquered all of continental Europe, could not take England. Napoleon, arguably the greatest general and tactician to ever exist on the face of the planet, could not take England. Because England's got this beautiful thing they call the Royal Navy, and another beautiful thing they developed after World War I called the Royal Air Force. And while, yes, anybody that goes up against them is, in fact, royally fucked, they do produce a lot of bullets once they go into war. The bullet argument does not work. If you're working with static statistics, the problem with that is not one statistic on this planet is static, especially not ones that deal with warfare. Because you can plan all you want, but And if you think that nobody can survive a nuclear war, the British could, because the British basically live in a fallout zone. If you think they couldn't deal with trash and horrid conditions, take a walk through Southend. And if you don't think that anybody could survive in horrible conditions, let me put it to you like this. The only 3 things that are going to survive a nuclear war are going to be Twinkies, cockroaches, and Northern England. That's it.
Northern England. That's hard. So what do you guys think on that?
I mean, the British they have never left like a war economy. Their people still eat like they're at war. They grow crops in their gardens and all that. They still act like they're at war with Hitler. Like if you go over there, yeah, the older or the newer generation that's growing up is less like it, but most of the older generation, like parents and stuff, they still act like it. They still eat. Their restaurants and their dishes are all war-ish meals that were kind of brewed up during World War II and stuff, during the hardships. He's not wrong. But they definitely rely heavily on imports, so. Give or take.
So I heard there were I forget what I was gonna say. There was a an attack on a Russian ship outside of Odessa in the Black Sea.
Oh yeah,
That was something that was recent.
Zelensk or something like that. Yeah, I heard about it.
Yeah.
Coastal Guards or whatever.
Apparently the Ukrainians got a navy. Oh yeah, forgot to show that. Look at this. In India, police seized a huge shipment of drugs from a local Escobaro and burned about 200 tons of pot.
Sheesh.
Talk about getting a whole country stoned.
Fuck yeah.
Did they light it at 420?
Yeah, right.
About that. India and China are smoke.
If they only would waited like a month and like
yeah, right.
Days, they would have been right on.
Unbelievable.
I wonder how many people are back behind that in the breeze zone. Just be like, fuck yeah.
Oh, here's this interesting scenario. This is something I was one to talk about. Here's a situation. So this coming out. This is off of EIA.gov. It's showing the top producers and top consumers of oil. And I was actually really shocked to see who is the number one producer of oil. It is the United States. United States produces 18.61 million barrels per day. That's 20% of the world. Saudi Arabia comes in second at only 12%. So we actually produce almost double what the second largest country does. Russia produces 11. Say what?
2020.
What's this? It says 2021, December 8, 2021. So I mean, it's a year old.
Okay.
So maybe the numbers might be different now.
Well,
who knows?
It's not a year old. It's December of 21. It's only a couple months.
Oh yeah, it's only a few months old then. Yeah, so this
I was looking up top and I saw the production.
Okay, I got you.
Oh, that's 2 years old.
No, this is pretty recent then. So yeah, 10 largest oil producers and shares total world oil production in 2020.
Yeah.
But the source is 2021. So maybe, it's hard to get these numbers, like real factual numbers in real time without, there's going to be a lag.
Gather it and fudge
Yeah.
Yeah, China's got to fudge, But what was interesting though is if you see United States is also the largest consumer. Yeah. The United States consumes 20.54 million barrels per day, while producing which is more than what we're produced. So we are dependent, but we're not dependent by much, though. As you guys can
look
see,
how much China's dependent on. They only produce 4, and they're taking up 14.
So United States really isn't that dependent on oil, but look at Russia. Russia produces 10.
Only use up to 4.
Use 4. And guess who just sanctioned off all of those barrels?
Russia.
United States.
Yeah.
We're not. We were buying those. In fact, a majority of the world was getting, Germany. I don't know if Germany sanctioned them off, but a lot of other countries have. So guess where China and guess where China.
Anybody under China has pretty much sanctioned them.
So China right now is dependent on our oil. They're getting oil from us. That could change here pretty soon.
I was gonna say if
they could start
are accurate, if they get all of Russia's oil at a discount, they fill their quota.
Yeah. Yep. They will not need any of our oil.
And they'll get it at a discount because nobody else is buying it.
Yep. Oh my God. Talk about a shitty situation, or talk about a good situation for Russia and China right now. From these being sanctioned off. Just by me looking at this. It puts China in advantage. It's going to put Russia in advantage.
Also, I don't know if you looked at world totals at production versus consumption.
We honestly, the only strategically way the United States could get away from this is we need to lower this number. We need to consume less. We need to go to
nuclear energy.
Yeah, nuclear, electric cars.
Electric cars are not going to save us. We have
to
nuclear energy because what powers those cars? Coal power plants.
The electric cars?
Yeah, what do you plug your car into? Your house? Right? Where does your house get power? The power plant that's run by coal?
Yeah, it's run by coal. Yeah, or nuclear. It could be nuclear. It could be solar. It could be. We
don't make enough solar, green energy.
I don't think we use coal as much. We would have to look that up. What are the
main
sources of energy in the United States? All right. According to the U.S. Energy Information Administration, most of the nation's electricity was generated by natural gas, coal, and nuclear energy in 2019. Electricity is also produced. We need like a graph or something. Here we go.
There you go.
Natural gas, petroleum, nuclear. So 11% coal.
70% petroleum and natural gas almost. And if you add coal into it, that's 80%. What is that right? No. Yeah.
That's what so we need to get
69, 70. Yeah. 70% coming from coal, petroleum, natural gas. They're 80%.
So basically we just need to get our power grid on more on renewable to then.
But there's no way to make enough renewable energy.
Or nuclear, yeah.
It's not at the stage the technology's at right now. It doesn't produce what it costs. The cost benefits to produce. It's like mining Bitcoin. The cost outweighs the benefit of wind and shit like that.
Yeah, but when you produce a lot of it, then it's profitable.
We don't make enough energy off of it to make it viable versus the maintenance of the machines and stuff. Like the big wind things, they cost so much to maintenance and stuff that the energy it produces outweighs the benefit of the energy it produces. And then half the year it's not windy, and during the winter time you can't run it because it freezes, or you gotta defrost it all the time.
Yeah, 24% of renewable energy is wind, maybe? Or, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Interesting.
Of that 11%.
Yeah. So, petroleum and natural gas. Where do we get our petroleum and natural gas from? Most of the oil imports from Canada, Mexico, and Saudi Arabia, but the amount of imported Russia oil has been increasing over the past few years, according to that. Well, that changed. Data from the U.S. Energy Information Administration in 2020, the U.S. imported around 200 million barrels from Russia. Yeah, so we were getting a lot from Russia. So where are we going to start buying all this extra oil? Well, I guess we could produce it ourselves. But I think what's going to shift is China is going to start buying, because right now we're selling our oil to Russia or to China. We could then just consume that ourselves.
But we don't get that money.
We don't get the money out, yeah.
So you know where we're going to see that hurt?
So basically, China just did checkmate. Like on the United States and Russia, basically.
In every situation we've talked so far, China's winning.
Yeah, China has the upper hand for sure. Holy smokes! Oh, look at this. Putin can destroy America. Really? Let's see what this guy has to say.
The technology and the weapons to destroy America. Did you know that? He would drop one of these bad boys on us. EMP, electromagnetic pulse. It's a nuclear weapon that you drop maybe 100 miles above a target, and then it sends an electromagnetic pulse for hundreds or thousands of miles horizontally across the country. This would destroy our electricity, take down our power, destroy our electric plants. Maybe our nuclear plants would melt down. Our defense would kind of break down. Our food supply would break down. Just launching one of these nuclear weapons and detonating it high above America could destroy the country. EMP attack. What's up?
Whoa, what do you guys think of that?
Seems plausible.
An EMP nuclear attack. So not really going after one city, going after an entire country, wiping out our power grid and our internet.
Wipes out communication.
Yep. That would be the end of the world for a lot of people, to be honest. People would freak out. If just imagine not having internet.
70%.
So what?
One MP can take out about 70% of the United States.
Wow. EMPs. AMP bomb. I think that's what we'll get hit with for sure. Yeah. And guess where that's gonna get? Where they're gonna put that motherfucker?
Too high altitude.
Right. Well, where are they gonna put it? In the center of the country? Kansas City, Kansas, Nebraska, right? Kansas. We're right in the zone, motherfuckers. Oh shit. Yeah. You guys ever seen that movie Day After Tomorrow? Or was it?
Yeah.
No, not Day After Tomorrow. It was the one about Kansas City getting nuked.
What?
Yeah, there's a movie. It's called The Day After. No, just The Day After. Yeah, this is it. Images. Yeah, The Day After. American television film. It first aired in 1983.
Oh, that shit came out before
Yeah,
James were born.
It was about the Cold War, and it was about it actually happening. Like we go into a nuclear war with Russia, and guess where they bombed?
Joplin, Missouri.
Yep.
Lawrence, Kansas.
Interesting.
Got some friends out there. They're gonna be fun.
Yeah, this was on ABC movie. I've actually seen it. It's actually a pretty good movie.
I mean, I guess, but
Yeah. So yeah, then the prophecies, Kansas City might be getting hit with an EMP.
Well, you better get out now.
little do you know. I'm just kidding. We're going on vacation.
What else we got?
Just come down here to the south. You'll be all right.
Shit, I wish. We're thinking about moving down there. Told you that, right?
So the good news is we could still get oil from Saudi Arabia. We could still get oil from Canada. China, they could still deal with us if they wanted to. United Arab Emirates will obviously deal with us. Brazil will. Kuwait, I think, will. What's this total top 10? Oh, that's, wow. That's a big chunk of the world.
No, that's what I was saying earlier. If you look at the total world right under that, production is 93, but the total consumption is 100.
Yeah.
We consume more than we produce in the world.
That means we're going to be running out.
We run it out because it's a non-renewable resource. What I'm saying is somebody's not holding their weight.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Somebody's consuming way more than they produce, which is China.
I agree. Yeah, China needs to pull their weight, motherfuckers.
Start producing more oil.
No, they just produce everything else.
Yeah, fair enough.
They trade oil for
Everything
that we get. So what else we got?
Got any more videos to share?
Let's see.
You wanted to talk about the Russian internet.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I watched the video that Dap sent. If you want to go ahead and play it.
Oh, which video was that?
It's on Telegram. You sent me like 2-3 days ago.
I believe you sent it to our group message too.
On Discord.
No, it was through the phone or text message or group text.
We would be able to pull it up that way then.
Let's see here. Hold on.
So I could send it to Discord real quick.
At least we got 10 people watching us right now. They're not chatting much, but we got 22 likes.
What's up, chat?
Hey guys,
Talk to us.
Talk to us. Don't.
If you got any questions, concerns,
join us. This is a blog for everyone. I know I've been sending a lot of junk. I'm like a spam master. What was it?
I wasn't gonna say anything.
huh? I can send the link to Discord.
Yeah, send the link to Discord because I sent a lot of stuff. I'm like, they're like, going, which one?
All right, I just sent it.
Okay.
And there,
Okay,
somewhere.
here we go. All right. So this is Putin unplugs the internet.
Western technology companies, Russia imposes heavy sanctions on Russia with its invasion of Ukraine. And this picture does not seem to please Russia. They found a new solution. From now on, by order of Putin, Russia will have pulled the plug on the internet as of March 11th.
March 11th, that's in
Russia
2 days. They're going to be completely on their own grid.
Technology sanctions from many countries.
This is even more evidence that they have something to hide, or that they know something that we don't.
The outside world. The Ministry of Digital Development, Communication and Mass Media took action. Russian websites were called. Sites were asked to move their servers to Russia. They were requested to switch to domain names with the RU extension, which is domain of Russia. A fateful deadline was given to March 11th. With this move, Russia aims to take the internet under its own control without being dependent on the outside. Russia has been working for many years to close its internet network to the outside world and to only traffic with it itself.
The world is becoming divided.
Moscow started to run long-term tests that could cut the internet across the country.
Divided
last June, he completely cut off the internet
by the
connection.
east and west hemispheres of the world still.
Or we're seeing governments starting to weaponize the internet.
Or that too, yeah. Censorship. Russia doesn't want. I mean, maybe Putin feels that part of their instability with Ukraine and with Russia is because of outside influences. I mean, he obviously says that Ukraine, he's actually convinced that Ukraine is United States' fault, that United States has been influencing them. So in order to prevent it, you need to block them out. So you block them from not having access to the internet, which they won't be seeing our propaganda and things like that. They won't have our influence. Like China doesn't have our influence. China has they're completely isolated themselves from the rest of the world. They still do business with everyone. Where like North Korea, they don't do business with anyone. They do everything in house. That's why their economy sucks. But
so does that mean there's gonna be less Russian hackers?
Yeah.
And then when you're playing games, there's gonna be less Russians.
basically, yeah.
A lot.
So there's something good that's coming. I'm just kidding.
Right. Yeah, they won't get those Russian spam attacks that's been happening. Russian bots.
So who they're gonna blame the next election rig on? What if Russia's not on our internet?
Yeah, they won't be able to blame Russia anymore, will they?
It's NATO's fault. Oh, I mean, no, wait, NATO's no, fuck.
No, they can still blame China, or they'll still blame Russia.
Fair enough.
War on drugs, Russia. Let's see if we can find
Western technology.
the last time we actually put on the live stream of the cameras of all the cities. What was that? What were we watching? Go on here. Subscriptions. Oh yeah, it's like KLW. Nuclear emergency, Chernobyl, NPP without power, radiation leak is imminent. Whoa. That's what the title of this video is. Actually,
live?
that was earlier. Yeah, that was actually earlier today. I've actually heard that. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, there's reports that Chernobyl are reporting that they don't have power to the plants, so there's a chance of there being a failure or a leaking in Chernobyl. Which I don't know what kind of damage, how much damage that would cause.
Well, if they don't have power, then they don't have cooling systems.
Other than that, it seems quiet. See if we can find more info on that Chernobyl. It's Chernobyl. No power. Yeah, okay, here we go. That's CNN. We don't want that. All right. There's
We've got a lot
ABC.
to get to on this afternoon as we enter week 2 now.
That's right.
Actually, it's week 3, isn't it? It's 14 days.
14 days.
So it's week 3 we're entering of this war.
Ukraine warns Chernobyl nuclear plant is without power.
And Maggie, let's begin with this situation in Chernobyl, an international byword for the dangers of nuclear power. And now, like other nuclear facilities in Ukraine, at risk, some warnings that if power isn't restored, there's been cut off to the nuclear power plant, there could be nuclear leaks. What can you tell us about that?
I know, Terry, nuclear leak sounds terrifying. That's because it is. You know, Chernobyl is a closed power plant, but it still has nuclear fuel there that needs to be constantly cooled. Electricity is needed for that cooling and ventilation. And with electricity cut off, plants relying entirely on generator power. But ABC News spoke to the head of nuclear power here in the country, and he said generator power is only going to last for about 3 to 7 days. If that runs out and electricity isn't yet restored, there's a real possibility we could face radiation leaks. And guys, on top of that, those scary radiation leaks, there's also concerns over the workers. You know, I was in Chernobyl a few years ago when they put the final concrete barrier on top of that radioactive power plant, and I saw the workers going in on these highly structured shifts. One, to avoid too much radiation exposure, and two, to keep them fresh and alert in this highly dangerous situation. Those workers have now been on call for the past 2 weeks since Russians took control of the station. And that same leader of the nuclear power here in the country said he's had no direct communication with them this entire time. So another major concern coming out of Chernobyl.
And Maggie, let's talk about just the battle over Kyiv. Now, U.S. officials warned there will soon be just 10 to 14 days worth of food and supplies actually available there. How much longer do we expect Ukrainians will be able to hold back Russian forces and hold their city?
Yeah, Kara, this is a huge question. You know, officials still say Russia's intent remains clear. They want to encircle and control the capital of Kyiv. Our chief foreign affairs correspondent Martha Raddatz is saying that will probably take about a week to 10 days for them to encircle it. But it's going to take another 4 to 6 weeks of intense, heavy fighting for them to gain control of the city. They are seeing so much resistance from Ukraine.
So what do you guys think?
About Chernobyl?
Yeah. Is that significant, relevant, true?
I mean,
Seems to be true.
See what kind of radiation we're talking about here. Ukraine sees risk of radiation leak. I feel like we didn't get much info from the video. I not get much info for this here. Run nuclear companies. How does a power plant run out of power?
it's a not active plant.
Yeah, I know. Ukraine warns Chernobyl radiation risk. I just want to know how much radiation will leak from Chernobyl. Oh yeah, so they are. Apparently, a lot of people have Googled this. So the total dose from Chernobyl is estimated at 80,000 mansieverts, or roughly 1/6 as much. However, some individuals, particularly in areas adjacent to reactor, received significantly higher doses. Oh, what? Or that? I guess that was what happened. I don't know if that's the estimates for person and other radioactive releases. No. Says the relative size of Chernobyl release when compared with the release due to the hypothetic ground burst of a bomb similar to the Fat Man device dropped on Nagasaki. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything else about it. I don't know, y'all. See what else is happening. So what do you guys think is going to happen? Kind of James, kind of tell me, what you told me earlier. Refresh my memory.
Ukraine?
Do you remember?
Ukraine?
Yeah, we're talking about, no, it's about Taiwan.
Oh, about Taiwan's past?
Yeah. Yeah, China and Taiwan's past.
Where Taiwan's origins?
Yeah.
Are you looking up a video?
We could.
No, I just was asking if you were gonna look up or put one on real quick.
There's Bloomberg Politics, what Ukraine war means for China and Taiwan.
Whenever I think about it, it just works.
But what lessons might she be learning from Russia's invasion of Ukraine, of course, especially when it comes to Taiwan?
Well, just like, Russia wanted to have a quick, decisive victory in Kiev, most China military strategists see kind of an overwhelming, shock and awe campaign in the first few hours of an invasion of Taiwan. So, they foresee basically overwhelming the island initially. And, what's been happening and what we've seen in Russia is that, taking out air defenses and things like that are very difficult to do right off the bat. So the fact that Russia's forces have already struggled in Ukraine, that's one key takeaway for the Chinese, of whether they can actually accomplish a swift, overwhelming military victory in the first few hours of the campaign. Then there's also the economic side. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, we see Beijing backtracking from what that friendship without limits. I just wonder what that really, really means, which was announced, at the Winter Olympics. Are they having second thoughts? I mean, China mentioned they had worries about the Indo-Pacific NATO. What are the similarities and what are the differences?
The fact that they use that phrase is kind of worrying in general, given it was a similar justification Putin used to go into Ukraine. But of course, it's very different in any, all the alliances that the U.S. has in the region, Japan, South Korea, Australia, the Philippines, these mutual defense treaties have been in place for years. All the new arrangements that the U.S. has, AUKUS, the Quad, which were cited by China yesterday, none of these contain the same obligations, that Article 5 obligation that NATO has, which is a common defense. So in that sense, they're very different. But what China does see is kind of the U.S. encircling China.
Putin's
kind of
war sends a signal to China that it won't be easy to take Taiwan as it imagines.
How likely is China to take action anytime soon?
Well, certainly not anytime soon. Xi Jinping has emphasized stability above all things this year. So in a lot of ways, they're probably really not happy about what's going on in Russia because it's destabilizing global markets, which gives them a lot of domestic headaches. As you know, Xi is trying to secure a third term.
I'm not buying it.
Term at a party congress later this year. So traditionally in the run up to them, they don't want any problems at all. They just want everything to go smoothly. And certainly an attack on Taiwan would be very contrary to anything that's, what the Chinese normally do in these situations. So there's no sign of a military buildup or any sign of imminent action against Taiwan.
I don't think that's true because we've seen.
He could be right on one hand.
Yeah.
He could, it could be one or the other. Like, go ahead with what you were gonna say. I'm sorry.
The activity in Taiwan has increased. Like China's purposely sending aircrafts to fly over and come back and fly over and come back and fly over and come back.
Oh, invading their airspace. You're right.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are poking. They're literally poking Taiwan with their airspace.
Well, I mean, this whole war with Ukraine, like we said earlier, China's winning on every step. And this war with Ukraine's no different. They get to poke the bear or whatever, the eagle, and see what comes of it without actually having to poke.
Yeah.
So, and you know, him saying that they have elections going on this year or later on this year, and they don't want any stability or instability and whatnot. But that's completely. I think after is completely 100% logical. Yes. Logical.
Yeah.
To think that
spit it out.
Right. I always have one every stream. To think that they would immediately go after Taiwan, considering the historical significance of it.
Yep.
And you know, if most people don't know, the historical significance of Taiwan is that technically, depending on how you look at it, the first war that started World War II, which would be the invasion of Japan into China. If you want to get technical, some people see that as the first war that started World War II. And so, when that was going on, China was also having a civil war. And so the nationalist Chinese and the communist Chinese were all having a civil war, and Japan invaded after taking Manchuria, which is it was above Korea. It's like Mongolia, northern Korea, and stuff like that. So they invaded or whatever, and during the war, they decided to work together to kick out the Japanese. And once the Japanese were pretty much kicked out and lost the war because of the United States and whatnot, the Chinese communists pushed the nationalists out, and the nationalists were exiled to Taiwan. And so for China to see themselves as the legitimate, sole, unchallenged government in China, they have to win their civil war that is still going on to this day. Because they don't recognize Taiwan, so they don't really see it as a civil war, but they do see it as a civil war.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I believe that Mao Zedong said that it was like 50 years, or something like, I'm not 100%, it was like 2050 or something like, I'm not 100%, but they will have conquered, and communism will be the sole power in China. And he has a bunch of his manifesto. You'd have to look into it, but they have a deadline, basically, and that deadline's coming up within the next 10 to 15 years, I think.
Wow.
20 years ish.
I'm actually really exploring the map here. I'm kind of like, trying to look at like how geographically the world is divided, because right here you could draw a line where the divide is, because North Korea would be part of China, Russia is part of, let's say this is South Korea, Japan, those are allies of the United States. Taiwan would be considered, that'd be considered what? United States? Even though China,
it's a NATO protectorate.
It's not part of NATO though,
it's a NATO
right?
Protectorate.
Okay, so we would protect it regardless.
Yes.
And then Philippines, obviously, Australia, like all of that, and then you could draw the line, kind of just goes up because India would be part of the United States. And then we had war, and Iran then is divided. So we have division here. So division in North Korea and South Korea. We got division here in Iran and Afghanistan. Pakistan and India, maybe, I think. And then you got division, obviously, now in Ukraine. And the division that, was in 1991 was in Berlin between NATO and the Soviet Union. But the Soviet Union collapsed, and that line is now at Poland. And Estonia, like you draw a line, it goes just goes like this, and it stops at Ukraine. Well, Ukraine actually is trying to go to the west, so the line would go this way, and obviously Putin Russia does not like that at all. So they've already claimed like this is already part of Russia now. If I'm not mistaken. Like they claim both of these territories and Crimea. They would probably take all of this hands down for sure. Question is will they divide Ukraine or will they take all of Ukraine and start going into Poland?
Stop, you're right.
Yeah, where are they going to stop?
Well, I mean, as of right now, NATO can't do anything. But once they step on Polish soil, then NATO has full authority. So
yeah, Poland, Romania, Hungary, Slovakia, Czech, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, all of those are NATO countries. That's why Putin's pissed. Turkey, yep. Armenia.
Crazy times we live in, huh?
Yep. Oh, show. Well, I'm gonna be getting off here. It's 10:30.
I gotta get out of here too.
If you could just send me the video and I'll make a video out of it.
You guys for watching the stream live.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
Drop a like. Video will be out.
Comment, subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. We did gain at least one subscriber. We're at 32 subscribers now. Woohoo! Let's get to 100.
Let us know in the
folks.
comments what topics y'all want us to talk about too.
Yeah.
You know, we don't. This channel isn't all for like war and stuff like that.
Just kind of happened on our.
Yeah, that's just kind of
our first stream.
A big topic of discussion for right now. But if there's anything else that y'all want to talk about or y'all want us to talk about,
yes, please
feel free.
Let us know, guys.
Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one.
Adios. Good night, y'all.